It's official. Karoline Leavitt has pulled off what many said was impossible. Against all odds, she's clinched a victory that's sending shockwaves across the political map.
Think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists.
After months of legal drama, media headlines, and behind-the-scenes damage control at ABC, Karoline Leavitt has done something no one expected. She's just won an $800 million defamation case against The View. Yes, you heard that right. One of daytime TV's most well-known shows has taken its biggest blow ever. Hosts Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin are reportedly shocked. The show's reputation is shaken, and the network is scrambling to figure out what's next. But this isn't just a personal win for Karoline. It's a turning point, a moment where someone stood up to powerful media voices and said, "That's enough." It's more than a lawsuit. It's a signal that accountability matters, no matter how big the platform. So how did it get to this point? What exactly was said on The View that sparked such a huge legal battle? And how did Karoline turn what started as a tough media moment into one of the biggest courtroom wins we've seen in a long time? Let's break it down. Like many controversies on The View, it started small. A look, a tone, and a comment that didn't land right. Karoline Leavitt knew what she was walking into. As a conservative woman guesting on the show, she understood the environment wouldn't be easy. Still, she showed up, confident, prepared, and focused. She came to talk about important issues like national defense, civic engagement, and policy. Her goal was to share information, speak honestly, and stand her ground. But what she got felt more like a confrontation disguised as casual conversation. The tone shifted quickly, and what was meant to be a respectful discussion turned into something else. That moment sparked a firestorm online, and soon after, in court. Karoline didn't back down. She took action, and after months of legal battles, she came out on top, not just with a legal win, but with a major statement. This case has sent shockwaves through the media world. It's raised serious questions about fairness, responsibility, and how public figures are treated in the spotlight. Whether you agree with her views or not, Karoline Leavitt's win is now part of a much bigger conversation, one that's just getting started.
They really don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was picked for the role.
Joy Behar led the charge. She glanced across the table with a sarcastic tone and a knowing look, then delivered a jab aimed straight at Karoline. Come on, she's not here for her brain. Trump probably just thinks she looks good. The reaction in the studio wasn't friendly laughter. It was sharp, pointed, and uncomfortable. Applause turned to snickers. The moment landed hard. Before the room settled, Sunny Hostin added her own pointed comment. Let's be real. This has nothing to do with experience. She's just another example of someone benefiting from privilege. That's it. It quickly turned into a pile-on. The tone was dismissive, and the atmosphere tense. And just when things seemed to be cooling down, Whoopi Goldberg leaned back, arms folded, and added the final blow. If it weren't for wokeness, you wouldn't even be sitting here. That line set everything off. Within hours, the clip had gone viral. Social media was flooded with hashtags like Karoline Setup and The View Unhinged. But Karoline, she didn't lash out. No angry posts, no emotional live streams. She simply adjusted her blazer, took a sip of water, and smiled. Calm, composed, and unfazed.
President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a threat to democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie. And yes, you will take political violence like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a Nazi. That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day.
After months of legal drama, viral headlines, and behind the scenes pressure at ABC, Karoline Leavitt has done what few thought possible. She's just won an $800 million defamation case against The View. Yes, that's real. One of daytime TV's most iconic shows has taken the biggest hit in its history. Hosts Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin are reportedly in disbelief. Their reputations have taken a hit, and the network is now in full crisis mode. But this wasn't just a legal win. For Karoline, it was much more a turning point. A moment when someone stood up to a major media platform and said, "Enough." So how did things reach this level? What exactly was said on air that sparked such a high-stakes battle? And how did Karoline turn a tough TV appearance into one of the most significant courtroom victories in recent memory? Let's break it down. It started like many moments on The View, with a sarcastic comment and a dismissive tone. Karoline Leavitt, a conservative guest, came on the show ready to talk about serious topics like national defense and civic engagement. She was calm, collected, and well-prepared, but she wasn't greeted with the same respect. Joy Behar was the first to take a shot. With a smirk, she said, "Come on, she's not here for her brain. Trump probably just thinks she looks good." The studio didn't laugh kindly. The reaction was pointed, even cruel. Before the moment passed, Sunny Hostin added, "Let's be honest, this isn't about experience. She's just another example of privilege." The tone of the discussion had shifted from tough questions to open mockery. Then Whoopi Goldberg delivered the line that changed everything. "If it weren't for wokeness, you wouldn't even have a job." That was the spark. The moment went viral within hours. Social media lit up with hashtags like Karoline set up and The View unhinged. But Karoline didn't respond with outrage. She didn't go online to vent or make emotional videos. She simply adjusted her blazer, took a sip of water, and stayed composed. And once the cameras stopped rolling, she took action. She called her legal team. The headlines came quickly. Karoline Leavitt sues The View for $800 million. ABC in turmoil. And massive lawsuit shakes daytime TV. This wasn't a public spat. It was a formal legal battle, and Karoline came prepared. Her legal team filed a detailed case. They presented transcripts of the show, word for word. They included raw footage, even off-air moments with jokes and high fives. The strongest evidence? Internal chat logs from the production team. One line stood out. "Let Joy open with the looks jab. Whoopi will end it with a dagger." That changed everything. It showed this wasn't just a conversation. It was planned. ABC was caught off guard. Executives scrambled. Legal and PR teams went into overdrive. Talk of suspensions spread through the network. Even insiders admitted this was no longer just a controversy. It was a full-blown crisis, and now, with the court ruling in her favor, Karoline Leavitt hasn't just won a case. She's made history. She challenged a major media brand and won.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on looks?
Suddenly, Karoline Leavitt wasn't just another guest on a daytime talk show. She became the woman who challenged the idea that on-air jabs were harmless. She exposed what many had long suspected, that behind the casual banter, there was a pattern. And this time, it came with real consequences. She wasn't trending for a witty line or a viral moment. She was trending because she held one of the biggest media platforms accountable. And for The View, this was just the beginning. The moment the lawsuit made national news, the atmosphere at ABC changed dramatically. What once felt like confidence turned into concern. Behind the bright studio lights, things were unraveling. The loudest voices were suddenly quiet. The usual laughs were gone. According to people close to the situation, Whoopi Goldberg was the first to respond behind the scenes. Known for her strong presence and years of experience, she took an unexpected step, reaching out to a mutual contact with ties to both her and Karoline. Her message, simple and surprisingly cautious. Can we meet? Just talk? Let's not. Let this get worse. But it already had. Next was Joy Behar. On screen, she's known for being outspoken and bold. But in private, sources say her tone shifted. She personally contacted one of Karoline's lawyers, reportedly to ask if the situation could be resolved quietly. There was even talk of a possible statement or public apology. To some, it felt like an effort to de-escalate. To others, it sounded like damage control. As for Sunny Hostin, a former prosecutor and the only trained attorney at the table, she wasted no time. She began seeking her own legal advice outside the network, reportedly concerned about personal legal risk. Insiders say she even asked more than once to be removed from the lawsuit altogether. Meanwhile, Karoline's legal team didn't budge. While ABC worked behind the scenes to contain the fallout, her camp stayed steady, organized, and focused. They knew the strength of their case, and they weren't backing down. School 2.
There is a lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. We also have seen the cost of everything, not just eggs. Bacon, groceries, gasoline have increased because of the inflationary policies of the last administration.
Some supporters have started turning this moment into a message, literally. T-shirts with slogans like $800 million silence and stickers that read, mock someone, better be ready to defend it, are now circulating online. What began as a court case has grown into something bigger, a growing movement. While The View struggles to manage the damage, Karoline Leavitt is gaining visibility and confidence like never before.
Do you want to take this?
No, you cannot be attractive and smart. I will try to give Joy the benefit, and well, thank you. I try to give Joy the benefit of the doubt that she didn't see that briefing, because if you saw that yesterday on numerous topics, no big binder, I think she might have had a different impression of this young woman who held her own.
I mean, you would have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did absolutely no research or reading about anything dealing with Karoline Leavitt before she made that remark.
So, what happens now? The effects are already spreading across the media world. Talk shows are updating how they handle guests. Legal teams are giving hosts new training on what's okay to say. And behind closed doors, network leaders are rethinking how live shows should be run. One thing's certain, The View just proved you can't say whatever you want on air and expect no consequences, especially when someone like Karoline Leavitt is paying attention. As for Karoline, she's not bragging or slowing down. She's staying focused, sticking to the facts, and showing the calm confidence that shook one of TV's biggest shows. This verdict didn't just impact her. It sent a wake-up call to the entire industry. Hosts, producers, networks, they all just got a reminder. Words have weight. And now, they come with real consequences.
Conservative women, there's a long list of that, both of Trump's previous press secretaries, females, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Kayleigh McEnany, other figures like his campaign manager the first time, Kellyanne Conway, Sarah Palin very famously had to bear the brunt of a lot of this. So people are used to that. I think in their bubble of the audience that The View speaks to, that's probably kind of what the group think is. So one defense, I guess, is that she was speaking to her audience, but you take it outside of that bubble the way you are right now, and we all can see.
It's a line that can't be overlooked, and could this be the start of real accountability in the media? Let us know what you think in the comments. We're reading everyone. If you believe facts and fairness still matter, tap that like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Because Karoline didn't do this for headlines. She did it to show that actions have consequences. And after this, The View may never be the same. Stay with us.